Good morning, Zio here. And today I was going to do a different video, and then I ran across this information, which is like, you know what, we should jump into the deep end with that. And yeah, so because the nature of the person that I'm actually talking about, we're talking about somebody who has sued Cartoon Network for a character on the regular show, claiming that it was infringing on his likeness. We're just going to be stuck seeing my amazing face for most of this video because, yeah, I don't dare show his, just in case, you know, somebody decides they want to try and DMCA something because I happen to have shown their face or whatnot. So with all that, go get your coffee. And I apparently have a cat on screen, or at least the tail of a cat, and let's get into it, shall we? Yep, we've got a cat. I'm not sure why we have a cat, but apparently we have a cat. So, I figured that was a good way to, jump in here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should go ahead and do so for the cat. The cat needs your subscription. But, other than that, like the video, share it out, and all this other stuff, because this is just something interesting. So if you saw the title card or the thumbnail or whatever it is that you saw that caused you to come here, you know we're talking about somebody named Billy Mitchell. If you don't know who Billy Mitchell is, let's go with the King of Kong. Does that ring a bell? If not, he's the guy who set world record on King Kong, Kong Jr., and Pac-Man, and a few other things, I think, or those were it. Anyway, dude has a pretty huge ego too. We'll just throw that out there. So with the rest of this video, I'm just gonna say probably allegedly, and in my opinion, this entire thing is in my opinion, and all this other stuff, of course, and things like that, just to cover my legal bases, because yeah, just because. But yeah, we're talking about a guy who sued Cartoon Network because the regular show had a character who cheats a video game called Garrett Bobby Ferguson or something like that, and it apparently infringed on his likeness. Well, apparently the judge threw that case out, saying the television character does not match the plaintiff's appearance, and was like, yeah, whatever, go away. Anyway, so what we're really talking about is the fact that he is currently in the process of apparently suing multiple people. And this is actually probably where I'm going to actually shift to the screen for a second. But yeah, he is suing multiple people for libel and slander because of what they have found out. Billy Mitchell apparently has, let's just say, in my opinion, allegedly cheated at several of his high scores. It came to light, I want to say back in 2017 or so, that some things might have been fraudulent and, not exactly up to standard, up to snuff. And we'll go through all of that stuff. But apparently he is now suing, several people, including Twin Galaxies, who, does the record keeping of world records and stuff like that, or something like that. Anyway, does the record keeping for world records and stuff, and has like the tapes of his winning, beating the high scores and stuff and things like that, along with a couple of other people that he has felt has libeled and slandered him for having the audacity of showing mere evidence that he may have cheated here and there at various locations and at various times. Like, for instance, there is this documentary floating around, and down in the description, of course, is a link to a couple of things that you might want to check out about this sort of thing if it interests you, of course, that shows off things like switching out the hardware in a cabinet, because apparently at one of these conventions or things that were going on, he apparently set out to break the Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. record again or something like that after it had just been broken by somebody else. And it shows him and somebody else, and it's partial footage. It's not all there, of course, which makes people wonder, some things, of course, makes the noggin jogging a little bit, question a few things. And they change out the hardware in the case. However, the hardware they take out is, in my opinion, looks exactly like the hardware that they stick back in to the cabinet, which of course makes you think, are they really playing on the original hardware of the cabinet, or is it something else that's going on behind the scenes in the cutout between different things and stuff that you don't really notice? And it's also, of course, dimly lit, all the good stuff that is necessary to make it hard to see, hard to notice, things like that, right? And we've got a YouTuber here that goes by Apollo Legends, who has been covering the Billy Mitchell thing quite a bit, quite extensively, in my opinion. I think I fell into the rabbit hole of Billy Mitchell sometime last year or something, or the year prior, because of something that I think this particular person had put out. I can't really remember it. Actually, I think it's that video right there off to the right side here, world's most infamous Donkey Kong player caught cheating. That was the video that sort of plunged me into this rabbit hole of Billy Mitchell. But apparently, he's got a thing going on as well, getting sued by Billy Mitchell himself, because you can't call him a cheater. You also definitely can't show any proof that he's a cheater, because his fifis and his ego just can't handle it. But in my opinion, he's a cheater. Anyway, he did have a GoFundMe, but apparently the goal for the GoFundMe was smashed within hours of actually funding it, so it's been closed. You can't really go and do that, but he is throwing together sort of a class action thing, because Billy Mitchell does like to talk out of his tail and say some things that he probably shouldn't. So if he's going to go after people for libel and slander for showing off, this might be evidence of this, and this is what and stuff like that. Well, they've got they're looking for a more concrete case to fire right back at him. So if you don't know who that person is, of course you should go show some love over there. If for some odd reason you've never known them before and your first time seeing them is somehow through my video, tell them Zio sent you. They'll have no idea who I am, so it'd be great. But anyway, so we're going to go through the disqualification records, and I said I wasn't going to show all this other stuff, and I just went ahead and showed. But luckily, I took out the picture off to the side, so that was the thing. But anyway, in August 2017, Jeremy Young, a moderator for Twin Galaxies online forums, expressed concerns relating to a video posted online by child of Mitchell Boomer Score. Mitchell had played both Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. that day, breaking records for both, but using the same cabinet for it, and Childs having swapped the circuit board between the runs. The video did not show the complete record-breaking runs, and Young believed there might have been issues with the board swap, which is something we mentioned earlier. Mitchell's and Childs affirmed that some parts of the board switching were staged, and that the part of the recording was made well after the records had been set on legitimate hardware. Alright. Young continues to investigate the Boomers videos, as well as King of Kong and Montage brokers' scores, and in early 2018 posted evidence that both scores were made on MAME arcade emulated hardware rather than actual hardware. Young subsequently removed the 3 scores from the site as the use of MAME emulation was considered invalid for high score recording. Now, what is MAME? MAME is an emulator. If you didn't catch that in the context clues, it is essentially an emulator that emulates, arcade cabinets and the hardware there. But it, of course, is not usable for world record breaking or anything like that. You've got to do it on the hardware, the main hardware. Anyway, Young claims was backed up by Wes Copeland, a former holder of Donkey Kong high scores. Based on analysis of the scoring rate and the frequencies of the game, he concluded that Mitchell's run showed a statistically unlikely rate of scoring. Further, it was determined that Boomers and Mortgage broker score were witnessed by Twin Galaxies ref Todd Rogers, who had been accused of submitting fraudulent scores for himself, putting Mitchell's scores in doubt. Which, that doesn't look good. Not only is there already doubt cast on your score because of, various other things, but the person who apparently saw the act of actually happening also was caught putting in some fake scores, causing yours to be in doubt. Not a good thing. Anyway, so since we're here at the main part, let me go ahead and just highlight this so I can remember where it is that I am, and let's take a look at this. This over here is a another video from Apollo Legends. I think this is the world's most infamous Donkey Kong player cheating, and I'm just gonna let him, say it. Apollo, I'm sorry, I'm gonna steal your footage for a second. Anyway, I'm gonna mute my mic here. Maybe. Yeah. Nope.
When running this game on the original arcade cabinet, each level will load from the left and right sides inwards, kind of like a curtain closing motion. But while running this game on MAME, which is an arcade emulator, the level loads in pieces like this. Here's some test footage from Jeremy Young. Here's the emulator. And now here's a clip from Billy Mitchell's first million-point score. Quite clear evidence that Billy's score was run on MAME. Now, why is this an issue?
Maybe. Okay, there we go. So it probably would have been easier for me to just mute my side from OBS. I apologize. I'm very, very professional here. Anyway, this video, of course, is linked down in the description below if you want to see the full thing. But yeah, I mean, it clearly shows that, the run was the run that was recorded on MAME. I mean, I don't know how much more proof that one would need at that point when you get a side-by-side comparison of how a particular hardware and stuff would load a particular thing, and then your run is exactly the same way the emulator loads it instead of actual hardware. But, that's always just my opinion, of course. But as well, of course, being that it's an emulator, is easier to cheat scores among other things as well, which is what brings a lot of things into question. Now, just because you use an emulator doesn't necessarily mean that it was cheated, but it's a high probability when everything else doesn't look right that there's a good chance that other things may not be right as well. But Mitchell defended his scores on the East Side Dave show, whatever the heck that is, shortly after this charge, saying, "I've never even played MAME. I don't have MAME loaded in my home." Mitchell added, "The film footage that Jeremy has shows MAME play. I am not disputing what he said. What I'm disputing is the fact that I want him to have the original tape." Mitchell also suggested that tape footage Young had may have been fabricated. Young responded that the amount of foresight, patience, and technical know-how required would be staggering to make such tapes. Because, just in case anyone doesn't realize what we're talking about VHS tapes, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what we're talking about. They used to actually dub on VHS and do things and cut AMVs and stuff like that using VHS, and it is not an easy process. Trying to splice together VHS tapes took some know-how to do and a lot of patience to actually do it. I mean, when you look at this here and you put the footage together, like the actual arcade here, followed by the MAME footage that you can't actually see because I forgot to swap to it, and then take the actual footage from the VAH, the camera that was recording it, and it comes out exactly as the MAME. You can sit there and tell me you ain't got MAME, you've never played MAME all you want, but unless your arcade cabinet has an identity crisis and thinks it's MAME, I'm sorry, but you're using MAME. That's just in my opinion, of course. Totally my opinion. Anyway, to support his case, Mitchell said he sent Twin Galaxy recordings of the gameplay from these high score efforts along with other secondary evidence to deny any cheating. On April 12th, 2018, Twin Galaxies announced that an investigation conducted into Mitchell's submitted scores found conclusory evidence that Mitchell used an emulator for the footage of his two high scores. Twin Peaks removed all of Mitchell's scores from their records and prohibited him from submitting scores in the future. Subsequently, Guinness World Records released a statement that it would remove Mitchell's scores. The Guinness World Record title relating to Mr. Mitchell's high score of Donkey Kong have all been disqualified due to Twin Galaxies are a score of verification of these achievements. The removal also includes Mitchell's Pac-Man high score and first recorded perfect game. Twin Galaxies was the original source of verification for these record titles, and in line with their decision to remove all of Mr. Mitchell's records from their system, we have disqualified Mr. Mitchell as a holder of these two records. Mr. Mitchell has challenged these removals with his own evidence of legitimacy of the high score. At the encouragement of his son, Mitchell has used Twitch to broadcast scores that beat his past efforts. Mitchell recreated the perfect Pac-Man score at Fun Spot and I don't know where that is. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce names. In July 2019, and he took first place at a Donkey Kong tournament in Australia the following month. The situation between Mitchell's and Twin Galaxies has created tension between Mitchell and several of his friends and acquaintances in the video game community, following requests to both Twin Galaxies and Guinness to restore his records and retract defamatory statements about him. Mitchell filed a lawsuit against Twin Galaxy in Los Angeles, California in April 2019 for defamation, and filed another lawsuit against Twin Galaxy as well as Young and the YouTuber Apollo Legends in May 2020. Wow. This thing is actually pretty dang up to date. Which have not yet been served. But yeah, that's what we've got. So we've got Billy Mitchell, the King of Kong, who has a massive ego and a very fragile one at that, getting caught using MAME and other things to cheat his way into high scores. Apparently has put it doesn't help. And of course, he throws a fit like a child if you speak about it. So here we go. He'll probably never even know I exist. That's the best part about being a really, really tiny channel. Is the fact that I can talk about this stuff and have all the fun in the world with it. And usually nobody's going to know except for the small little bit of subscribers I got. So you should subscribe for the cat. The cat needs you. Yes. And you need to be part of my army, of course. Anyway, let me know what you think about all this stuff down in the comments below. Of course, if you've never seen Apollo Legends or any of the videos on that, feel free to go check those out. Linked in the description down below. And tell him Zio sent you. And, he'll be thoroughly confused and have no idea who I am if he even sees that comment at all, of course. So, that's the thing. Anyway, I will talk to you later. See ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.